All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jason Flame, chairman of the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce, and we are back. Today is Monday, July 21st, and we have another amazing chamber chat. And let me introduce our guest. This is Sharon. She is a proud Conejo Valley native with a bachelor's degree in sociology from UCLA and a career that began in management at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. After over 2 decades as an executive assistant in the biotech world, her life took a bold turn following a breast cancer diagnosis in 2016. From the chemo chair, she launched a business with Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski, transforming her love of sparkle into a thriving venture. Since leaving corporate America in 2024, she's doubled her sales and fully embraced life as a business owner and community advocate. Sharon is passionate about inspiring confidence, supporting causes close to her heart, and helping others shine. Please welcome a woman whose journey is all about courage, connection, and unstoppable sparkle. This is Sharon Bishop. Good morning.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, it is good afternoon. I'm 3 hours later because I just got back from the most amazing fall-winter launch with Swarovski executives for Touchstone Crystal, and had about 20 hours to get home after delay after delay after delay. So here I am, and thank you so much. I am super excited that you honored me by being on this podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time for everybody here in Moorpark and the surrounding communities. Well, I guess all over Facebook and YouTube as well, since we're live, just to share your story and tell everybody all about what you do. And listen, thank you, Jackie, my beautiful wife, who is watching from about 15 feet over. So she may have some questions for you.
Okay.
And let's kind of jump right in. And as you guys are watching, if you're watching this live, you please drop us some questions and comments as we go through. Also, please go to YouTube and subscribe to Moorpark Chamber of Commerce. It's our brand new YouTube channel, and we're excited to be able to stream there live as well. So listen, Sharon, you built a business from a chemo chair. What was going through your mind during that time, and how did sparkle become your symbol of strength?
Well, so there's never the right time for a cancer diagnosis. And I had several transitions from work and things leading up to this cancer diagnosis. I was actually the most fit I had been in my life. I just did a challenge, but then I realized that fitness challenge was really building me to be prepared to handle the biggest fight of my life. So, how the sparkle came in is I've been in corporate America for a long time, and I've always had a side gig. It started with financial services, and although I was very passionate about sharing, that did not bring me joy. Then I found Sparkle with Sterling Silver. Then that company closed, and I had cancer, and I was thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I was going to just focus full time on the jewelry, and that was going to get me through cancer, because I didn't really want to sit and think about cancer. So that is when we found out, people on my team found out that Swarovski actually has a direct selling division. Now, you cannot get better than Swarovski having a direct sales division that I could come on and represent them. And so that's what I did. I made the switch. Now, as you can see, and I came on here without jewelry, because it's kind of like, you're sitting here and it's like, okay, yeah, hi, looks great. But I did that on purpose, because this is how I got through cancer. And this is how I brought it to the chemo chair with me in my little travel bag, because it really does bring joy. So can I just take a second and dress myself a little bit? I know
I'm sorry, Sharon, to interrupt you. I lost your audio for some reason. I don't know if you guys are watching live. Can you tell me? Can you still hear Sharon? Something happened on my side where I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
It's always funny when this happens live and something goes wrong and we got to troubleshoot it, but let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, Cindy is saying that she can hear and Dina can hear. So Sharon, go ahead and continue I apologize for interrupting you. It may just be on my side.
Okay. Okay, I will keep going. And I don't see any chat, so I don't see anybody who's there. Should I? Well, you can't hear me. So anyway, let me just go back to what I'm doing. Now you can hear me. I can't hear you. Oh my God, I love it. I'm just gonna sparkle myself up. I'm gonna frost myself while we're doing this. And the first thing that I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're all good. So sorry about that.
Yay, no, that's okay. You know what? That's how it goes. You got to just be ready to change it up.
Yep.
So here's what I'm going to do, because I came with no sparkle and I had no joy. I was terrified going through cancer. So you know what? I just put on one little, hold on, I know. Because we're live, it's going to be all interesting. So just bear with me. This will be your favorite podcast, I promise, Jason. Okay, so now it's just like a little bit better, right? Because now I've got something to focus on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my go-to earrings because I can, and they're super easy. You know, when you go through cancer, you get things like you can't feel your fingers and things like that. So you have to improvise and make things easier. And these were easy for me to just throw on. And I literally went every day. When I went for chemo, I was dressed, I had makeup on, and I had my jewelry on. I was put together. And you see how, as I'm doing this, things are coming together. And now I look like, you know, nothing's wrong. I'm going to put on a little ring. But see, this is where the joy comes for me, my wrist party. I'm going to put this on. It's super easy. I know you didn't expect this, did you, Jason? Welcome to my.
I'm just wondering why I don't have any jewelry on my side to be trying on at the same time.
Well, you know what?
I'm just kidding.
That's coming. I'm telling you. I just got back. So, I mean, you see how, like, when I look down and I see something sparkly, I feel joy. Jewelry is to put yourself together to make you feel like you are elevated. And this elevates everything. Okay, so now I feel dressed. Now I feel like I can go on with the rest of the conversation because I am dressed. So that is how sparkle became my go-to. And in the hospital, people would just be like, what is that? I'm like, oh, let me show you. You know, Then the Benadryl would kick in and I might have to take a nap, but here I am.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that story. And once again, to everybody watching live, I apologize for the little hiccup on the hearing, but I hope that you heard everything that Sharon had to say, because I do think that that's super powerful. Just that whole mindset of, you know, whether it's your jewelry, it's the clothes you're wearing, it's the smile on your face, but ultimately, again, it goes back to the mindset that you had through all of that. And I just think it's so unique that, you know, you kind of started this whole journey with the sparkle at, you know, a pretty dark time. So a dark time, and then you got the sparkle. So really cool. Wanted not to leave that topic, but to talk a little bit more. You know, after more than 20 years in the corporate world, what was the biggest mindset? We just talked about mindset. What was the biggest mindset shift you had to make when you started stepping into full-time entrepreneurship?
Well, that is really, and now it's been quite some time. I left, I was at a big biotech company out here at Amgen for, you know, almost 20 years. And it was a huge shift. My whole life, I've been told what to do, you know, had goals, had this, had structure. I was there from 8:30. Okay, maybe for me it was 9 o'clock, but I was at least there till 6. And, you know, it was very, very different trying to switch to what does it mean to be a CEO of your own company. And I will tell you, it is every day, it is still a struggle, because I've been full-time for about just a year and a half. So it is still, I have to like, I have to think about it every day and wake up and say, okay, what's today going to be like? So, I did have a couple of notes. Hold on, let me get them.
Well, and I can add to that just for anybody listening. After 30 years in business for myself and being the CEO of my own company, it never changes. It never changes. But you know what remains the same is the passion, right? You have a passion for what you do. And that's what pushes you through some of those harder days, those challenging days, because you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. But hey, running a business is no joke for anybody at any level, whether you've been doing it 1 year or 30 years. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there too.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for being so good at doing this interview. Because you're very good at this.
I got you.
But really, shifting from structure and predictability to freedom and self-direction is how I think about every day. I learn to trust myself, lead with my heart. I don't have expectations other than who needs to hear from me today, who wants to sparkle, and I gain confidence in making my own decisions and showing up authentically.
Yeah, well, you just said, I don't know who needs to hear from you today, but we've got Cindy watching on YouTube, and she says, wow, Sparkle makes everyone smile. Can I sell too, or just buy from you? So I don't know if you know Cindy, but you might have someone, that wants to get involved.
Awesome. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for watching. Oh, yeah. Cindy is awesome. I did share with a lot of people. I pushed this out because, being a part of the chamber, I'm realizing how important it is to just let other people know who's out there and who does what. And now that we're all remote, it really doesn't matter.
That's right.
To be a part of it.
That's right. And we can reach literally across the world just right now, here live on Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
Touchstone Crystal isn't just jewelry. It's confidence, as you talked about, community and connection. How do you use your platform to inspire and uplift others?
So my platform, that was a tough one for me to kind of wrap my head around how I was going to explain that, but to create sparkle gatherings, bringing women together, not to exclude the men, because there's always a few good men that want to hang out with the women. I use jewelry as a tool for confidence. Yesterday I was at the airport and I was wearing this necklace, this is a different one, same style, just different color. And she was like, oh my God, that necklace is so pretty. And you know how that made me feel? I was totally stressed out, getting the airport, flustered, all these things. And then she gave me a compliment. That, I can't even explain what that does to you in this crazy world. And also, I use my platform to fundraise. I am really big with fundraising. Every year I do a Super Bowl bling pool, and I donate to the Firemen's Fund, or our firemen are just so amazing, first responders, and provide gifting solutions, coaching them to see their worth. That's kind of how I use my platform.
I actually didn't know that you did that. So that's a great way, within the community to bring people together to learn about your product. It makes them feel more confident. And by the way, I want to go back to what you said about, just someone complimenting you for your jewelry and how it made you feel. My wife is so good at, like, literally every day she'll find something, like someone will be wearing earrings or someone will be wearing a necklace or their lashes or whatever. And I'm like, how do you do that? She's like, I just look, every day I look for something that I can compliment someone. And that is such a huge, again, going back to the mindset, talking about confidence, but that compliment is so huge. So I wanted to touch on that, but going back to the community and fundraising, what a cool way to take your business, to a totally different level. And you brought up the Chamber of Commerce and networking and getting to know people, and you just never know where people are at or what they're looking for. And just by, meeting new people and making these new connections, you have this opportunity to increase someone's confidence, but also bring people together in community. So I think that's super cool.
Yeah. And I just want to say one thing. Well, I always want to say lots of things, but when I went to the first breakfast and I met Shania and Kim from Ambiance, they were, and I'd never been in the store. I've lived here since 97, never been in the store ever. And I went in and it was so awesome. And I loved the feel. And I'm like, and they loved my jewelry. And I said, well, why don't we just get you some for free? I said, do you ever, would you let me come set up? And like within a couple of weeks, I was in there. We had a sip and shop. It was so much fun. And they got free jewelry. I got exposure. I promoted them. They promoted me. And I'm telling you, it is not what you know. It is who you know.
Well, and that's a really good testimonial for the Chamber of Commerce and what people may perceive that it is. Look at the networking opportunity that you had and working together. And I love what you said. They win, you win. Anybody else that comes in to shop wins. So it's just it's a great opportunity for other businesses to work with people like yourself or each other. Which is really what we want our Chamber of Commerce to do. Now, you mentioned, and this was not one of the questions, but I'd love to know a little bit more about you. You've been here since 97. What made you move to Moorpark?
My now husband, we had a scandalous relationship at work at Amgen.
Oh, wow.
Which
the views are going up now.
Right? The views are going up. Yes, we started dating, and he bought a house over here in Peach Hill in 97, and that's when I moved in. And then we got engaged and had got pregnant with my son, who is now 22, and then we moved, and we've just stayed in the community.
But you're originally from Conejo Valley. I mean, so you're not far.
Nope. I grew up in Westlake Elementary, Kalina, Westlake High School. Yeah, I'm a native.
All right. Well, I was on the other side of the hill. I'm from Newbury Park, so went to school all the way up, graduated Newbury Park High School. So, I mean, I know the Conejo Valley like I'm sure you do. And what's kind of cool is what I always say to people is that Moorpark reminds me a lot of, growing up in the early 80s, all the way through the 80s in the Conejo Valley. Moorpark is so much like that. And now look at it, I mean, here we are, 2025. There's a lot of differences, right? If you follow me on social media, you saw that I was posting about High Street and how amazing High Street is looking and coming along. It's like so cool to drive down the street and see the progress. And of course, see all those businesses like Ambiance and High Sweet Creamery and Frida's and Insurance Brokers West and on and on and on. There's like so many, and then the new ones that are going to come in, which everybody is wondering who's coming in. Stay tuned; they'll be announced, I'm sure, very soon. Because I mean, it's almost done. Like we're just probably a few months away.
And my husband, he grew up in Newbury Park, so you could know him.
Interesting.
I'm not going to say how old are you, but he's 6 years older than me. I'm going to be 58, and I'm proud to say I'm going to be 58 because I could be 6 feet under. And I'm not. So here we go.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit before my time. I graduated in 92. I'm not ashamed. Just turned 51. So It's all good. But we probably knew a lot of the same people. Well, back to the program and talking about you. Many people hesitate to reinvent themselves after a major life challenge. What advice would you give someone who's standing at similar crossroads?
Well, what I would say first is start small. It doesn't have to be, here's the reality. I'm building a team of like-minded entrepreneurs, but not everybody wants to start a business. That is like eating an elephant. So you have to start small. is there something that you like? I just watched Christine's video that she did with you, and how she, we have similar stories, and how she really researched out what brought her joy, and for her it was cooking. For me it's jewelry, and so you just dip your toes in. I dipped my toes into the sparkle. I didn't plan on it changing my life, but it has. So you just start small, surround yourself with people that are positive and that support you. That'll, it could be family. It may not be family. It may be the strangers like from ambience. I'm not kidding. It just depends. And let your purpose guide you. It is never too late to rewrite your story.
100%. And you're right. It's all about who you surround yourself with, right? Like there's all the quotes, your net worth equals your network, and you are most like the people, the 5 closest people to you, that kind of thing. But when you surround yourself with positive people, and you surround yourself with entrepreneurs, I mean, you're bound to move in that direction. But you're right. Not everybody is cut out to do that. Not everybody wants to start a business, as we were talking very early in the conversation. Listen, it's just not easy to be an entrepreneur. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Absolutely.
And there's a different level of, when you take security versus the creativity. As an entrepreneur, you get to be a little bit more creative, make your own choices, make your own mistakes. So totally different story on both sides.
Yep.
What does success look like to you today, and how has your definition of success changed since your time when you were in corporate America? So talking about that, different levels of where you've been.
Totally different. I mean, corporate America, listen, I am Amgen. I will always bleed blue. And the company I went to after Amgen, they were blue too. And they started from Amgen and went to the new company, and they're blue. And I am so grateful for the path and the choices that I've made. It has led me to be mentored by some of the most incredible leaders, scientists, and I mean, they're just amazing. And I did have success. I mean, I did a good job. I cared for people. I nurtured my people. But then there's always, the reviews and the this and the that, and everything was kind of stuck in a box, and you could only go so far, right? Mm-hmm. So success now to me is the fact that I have freedom. A couple weeks ago, last week, I was able to just pick up and drive with my son back to Colorado, 16 hours, quick trip to get him back to college. That's hard to do when you're working a full-time job and you don't have choices. Mm-hmm. So success to me means freedom. It means having more fun. It means when I go to work, I show up at a party with cheese and crackers and wine, or whatever your favorite beverage is, which is super fun. It's not, and it's not just about titles. It's about your purpose and, how you bring others together. So to me, that's success. Success is walking my dog at 12 noon or at 5 o'clock or at 1 o'clock, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what success is to me now, is just what I bring to the table for others.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like the independence is where the success really lies. And I think that whether you talk to someone who's an entrepreneur, or you talk to someone that works in corporate America, it's like we work how many years in our life to be able to retire and enjoy life. And it's like, why are we waiting to enjoy life at retirement when we can enjoy life now?
Right. And, one of the things that I am focused on for the second half of the year is really calendaring my day so that I can do my work and I can have self-care. I can have time with my husband or my friends, or decide to go to lunch. It's just I want to build all those things because you know what? As we know, we don't know what's around the next corner. We don't. So you have to take advantage of the what you know is now. So that's really my goal.
And things can definitely change in an instant, right? And your whole world becomes something completely different that you never expected. So, is there anything else about Touchstone Crystal that we have not discussed or we haven't talked about? Anything that you want the audience to know?
Yes. Besides fundraising, I mean, I don't know. I think that most people know who Swarovski crystal is. You know, we have a legacy of crystals since 1895, which people may not know. And it was founded by Daniel Swarovski, who set out to make a diamond for everyone. And here's the reality. Not everyone I think likes the sparkle and they like the diamonds, but 10 grand for a diamond is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So one of the things I'm really excited about is that Swarovski has invested a tremendous amount into their Touchstone Crystal brand and has offered us the ability to provide their lab created diamonds. And I was just there and I saw some, and I have got to tell you, do you know about lab created diamonds? Do you even know what it is? So a lab created diamond is it's identical in chemical properties and physical properties to the mined diamond, but it's grown in a lab. So it's kind of like a greenhouse. And what sets them apart is the unmatched precision, quality, and responsible luxury. You can have the brilliance at half to 80% the cost of a mined diamond, and the environmental footprint is, well, we can't argue that. People want sustainability. And and the one last thing I want to say is that Swarovski's foundation is to provide clean water. They have the water school, and I don't need to go into big details, but they are providing clean water all around the globe, and they're very environmentally conscious. So I'm just super proud to be able to not have to interview to get to represent them.
That's pretty awesome. Well, guys, if you're watching this live and you have any questions or any other comments, now would be the time to drop them. Cody, if you're out there, can you do me a favor again? Can you drop our events that are coming up at the chamber? And that way we can let everybody know. I know that we have a social media workshop coming up. We're going to have another networking breakfast pretty soon. We'll be talking about our topic on tap event. So listen, if you don't know what's going on at the chamber, you can go to our Facebook page, Moorpark Chamber of Commerce, or you can go to the moorparkchamber.com and check out information there. But Sharon, it's been great learning more about your business and learning more about you today. And thank you for coming on after only a couple hours sleep and a 20-hour travel. You look great. You're shining, sparkling, like always.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any questions. So thanks again for being on the show. And do us a favor, guys, one more time. Make sure to share this video and go to YouTube and subscribe to the not the Master Motivation Podcast. Let's try that again. Moorpark Chamber of Commerce. That's my other hat. Moorpark Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel. Brand new. Would love to get the views up on there. And thank you guys all for tuning in. Sharon, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason. We'll see you soon.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.